It's time to feel what you've been bottling up. Life in rural America isn't easy. The long hours, the constant pressures, the demands of the land, livestock, and family, it all takes a toll. We're tough and we've got grit, but somewhere along the way, toughness started meaning bottling up emotions and powering through. But here's the truth. That strategy, it's not working and it's poisoning us. Maybe you've noticed and maybe you haven't, but the numbers don't lie. We're breaking down and it's showing up in our bodies, our relationships, and in the rising suicide rates in agriculture. You don't have to carry any of it alone. There's another way. If you're ready to stop being weighed down and start moving forward, my one-on-one good movement guidance is now open. Visit the link in the show notes to learn more and see if one-on-one guidance could be for you.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and see, good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast, and Merry Christmas. This week, since it's Christmas, I'm sharing a rerun of a short and sweet episode that has some mind-blowing truths in it. At least they blew my mind when I learned them. So whether it's your first time tuning into this episode or you've heard this one before, I really hope it meets you right where you are. Thank you so much for being here, and may your Christmas be full of joy, peace, and some dang good movement. Have you ever seen or heard or have someone say to you something that just kind of blows your mind? I have. Actually, a while back in my therapy, Jada said something to me during our session that just completely blew my dang mind. She said, "You are unable to feel joy because you have been numbing all of your other emotions. And when you numb all of your other emotions, you can't feel happiness and joy to the fullest because you can't numb one and not numb the others." So more recently than that, though, the same concept came across my Instagram feed in the form of a reel from an account called Quinlan Walther. And in her reel, Quinlan talks about how our emotions are not the problem. Our problem is our resistance to our emotions. And I thought the reel was so great because obviously I'd had my mind blown by this concept before, that I shared it in my stories. And I had a few people slide into my DMs with mind blown messages. So I thought this would be a good thing to talk about on the podcast, and also file under things I wish I would have known but was never taught. So basically, we can't numb fear, anger, and sadness and expect to feel happiness and joy to their fullest. And for a lot of my adult life, that is what I had done. Numbed fear, anger, sadness, and then was unable to experience joy and happiness and love as big and as boldly as they're meant to be felt. And This kind of goes back to a little bit of what we've talked about not the last few weeks. We skipped one in there where I talked about attachment last week. But when Sheila was on the podcast, she talked about how in her 4ness, she likes riding the roller coaster of emotion. The bigger, the better. When there's not enough drama, she watches like a dramatic show or a sad show or, something to get those emotions going, because the lows are lower, but that only makes the highs higher on this roller coaster. And she used the analogy of like little kiddie roller coaster versus like a big adult roller coaster. And the kiddie roller coaster is all fun, well and good, but the highs are higher on the big roller coaster, but you can't have the high highs without the low lows. And it goes right back to this this fact that you cannot selectively numb emotions. If you're numbing one, you're numbing them all to a certain extent. And then again, when we had Coach Kaya on a couple of weeks ago, and she talked about the quest for joy. The quest for joy is not just to only feel joy. You can't experience joy again. You can't experience joy to the fullest if you're not experiencing the other emotions. It's not to downplay or numb other emotions on your quest for joy. It's to fully experience all of the emotions. And so this is going to just be a really short episode to shed light on this fact that you cannot selectively numb your emotions. If you are numbing your anxiety, sadness, fear, anger, you are also by default numbing joy, happiness, all of the good things. So I just want to leave you with that little idea, light bulb moment, mind-blowing moment if you're someone like me who had no idea. And then get curious about what you're numbing and why you're numbing it. And I would challenge you to, instead of numbing, feel it, recognize it, feel it, accept it, and then look out for all the joy and happiness to hit you boldly and full on. With that, until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.